Okay, I am about to do a stream drawing, an intuitive stream drawing for the purpose of creative meditation. And you can do this every morning or throughout the day, especially if you have a question or something that's weighing on you in your mind or in your heart, you know, problems or something you want to solve. I'm just doing a general one right now, but I wanted to show you kind of how to do it. So the first thing I have to do is use my non-dominant hand, which for me is my left hand, and I'm going to close my eyes while I draw so that I just enter a stream of consciousness flow, really relaxed. And after I finish drawing, I will then begin the gazing process where an intuitive conversation inwardly kind of starts to take shape. So my eyes are closed. I can't see what I'm doing. I just draw for the feel of it. Whatever feels good in the way of making marks. I make it a one long continuous line so that I don't interrupt myself, because if I stop, I will probably open my eyes. Okay. All right, so this is the drawing. So now begins the gazing stage. And I'm going to get some intuitive messages when I do this. I won't necessarily know what they mean or signify, but as I trust what I see and make notes on it, then I can deepen my sense of what the meaning is as I go along. Of course, in any kind of image like this, you can see things a million ways, but what I usually do is kind of really acknowledge and go with the first thing that really strikes me. Later, I can add other ways I might see it. This whole thing is striking me right now. First, like, remember Gulliver's Travels? This is like Gulliver here. And Gulliver gets tied down by all these little Lilliputians. You know, look, that guy's kind of busy tying down Gulliver. It just has a look like that. So I'm going to write that down. I love stories, so that I know that is something that is important to me. Me learning through stories is really one of the ways I kind of love to understand the world. And I think we're each in our own fairy tale. So Gulliver was traveling and then hit upon something very unusual. And this is something I'm going to meditate on. And of course, being tied down is an interesting thing. We usually say someone's tied down when they're in a relationship. So that's kind of, that will be fun to really meditate a little bit more deeply on. The other way I saw this initial image in the center, though, was one person talking, and this person faces forward. This would be past, this would be future. And this is another person, or is it a horse? I think it might be a horse. So I'm going to also understand that this image is double. So it's Gulliver on one hand, but it's a horse on the other. So what would that be? And I'm going to make a note of it. Conversation with horse. Okay, so to me, horses are majestic. So that would be like, you know, regality or just life-enhancing beauty, that which is majestic. So in conversation with that which is majestic, powerful, horsepower. I love horses. So I'm going to write even doing what I love, which is interact with horses. Maybe this is something I need to really look into. I've been thinking about doing more things in real time that I just love doing, especially after quarantine. So this is important on many levels. There's more to discover there with horse symbology, but that's a start. And then really I had gone over here too. Usually my eye goes straight to the center, but I also kind of went over here. And this almost looks like a little animal person, you know, like Piglet in Winnie the Pooh. There's a small dog here. So I have some animal symbology to honor. Dog is loaded. Dog is loyalty, companionship. They feel they're our protector. So there's a few things there to consider. But at the same time, this whole image is almost like Piglet, and he's marching to the past. And what's that he's holding? This is real interesting right here. So there must be an aspect of Piglet. Piglet was like Pooh's advisor, or for Winnie the Pooh, he seemed to be a stabilizer. So maybe when I consider my past, you know how we think of our past often throughout the day, something emerges about the past, almost always. And maybe I need to see it as a gift. It's like Piglet is bringing something to the past from now into the past. So maybe I need to look at the ways in which the past is a gift. So I'm going to write Piglet as advisor, bearing a gift. Of course, it could be I don't know what that is. I mean, this is fun. You have to be playful like a child. You know, what is Piglet bringing to the past? Maybe it's a bomb to detonate, you know. Maybe if so, it would be to try to stop thinking negatively. The past usually they're not all happy memories that float in. Here I see, this is like an opera singer, because she's got, like, it's like the joke of an opera singer always wearing big bull horns. I'm not even sure what opera that comes from, but, you know, I've got to write that down, because that's another way to live, is knowing that this is all kind of a drama. We're in a big drama. And then if you look, you can see there's actually a whole bull here. So this is like the opera singer, and there's her dress. But this whole thing is the bull. This whole thing is like the bull's head and neck. I wouldn't say the whole body, but... So there's something about bull. Now, usually bull stands for stubbornness. I remember flying a kite in a field when I was young in Kansas, and floating into the air almost. I was so light. And then all of a sudden I heard a snort, and I looked just beyond me a little, and there was a bull staring at me. And you know what it's like if you are in the same enclosure with a bull. The bull is in charge, not you. And I remember running with that kite as fast as I could. I can't remember if the bull chased me or not, but anyway, so I have some symbology I can discover about bull, one of which is just universal. Bulls are stubborn, they say. And then the other is my own personal kite memory. And so with that, I felt wonderment, because flying the kite made me feel like I was flying. And then sudden fear. I'm not real sure what else I felt. I had to save myself. So these are loaded things to go into. So you can see this is the gazing, trusting what comes, and then discovering and connecting what these things mean to me personally. If you look here, this whole thing kind of looks like one big animal if I let this be another animal. I'm not sure if it's a bull. It's more like a deer, more like deer antlers this time. So there's a lot of animal symbology here. There's some numbers too. There's a number 2. Very fancy kind of number 2. Number 2 for me also has symbology that is personal. So I'm going to be writing down what that is. And then, of course, we'll be turning the drawing so that we see it as, you know, in a different view. And then you start seeing things very differently. So as you turn it 4 ways, you see so many different things. And it's pretty fascinating to let an image get you into a stream of consciousness flow, so that you're creating, because you did the drawing, and then you are daydreaming with it. And there are some intuitive messages that are worthwhile, that kind of ground me and give me a feeling of being aware. And that's a great way to start the day. I may do another one throughout the day, and I will probably work on this one today all day because it's so loaded with so much. And so this is one thing you can do in the morning or any time to meditate, especially if you want to. You could write at the top something that you're concerned about, and then everything in this ends up being a way to better understand the thing that you're concerned about. So this is intuitive stream drawing, a creative meditation practice, and I'm Elaine Clayton, and you can find out more on ElaineClayton.com. Thank you.